When I mention the year 2020, what comes to mind? For most of us, our response to that question is the COVID-19 pandemic. Everybody was impacted by the pandemic, but one group that was particularly affected were the school-aged children. In this presentation, we offer a research-based solution to the issue regarding the negative impacts 2 years of disrupted education has had on K-12 public school students' mental health and behavior. The purpose of this proposal is to bring attention to a community problem that continues to impact our youth and to promote action with a research-based solution. To begin, I will provide some background information on the issue. Next, Michaela will explain the key findings from our research analysis, as well as our method to evaluating potential solutions. Next, Carrie will review and evaluate the 4 potential solutions we have determined and present our final recommendation to this issue. Last, I will conclude the presentation with some final thoughts and references. Coronavirus is an infectious disease that ranges from mild symptoms to life-threatening conditions. In March of 2020, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a global health emergency and a pandemic. At this point, all but 1 U.S. public school districts were closed. Because of this, most schools transitioned to online learning. According to the CDC, being mentally healthy during childhood means reaching developmental and emotional milestones and learning healthy social skills and how to cope when there are problems. In order to be able to function well in life, mental health is vital. Unfortunately, circumstances caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, including school closures, social isolation, and health-related concerns, negatively impacted many K-12 students' mental health. According to the Department of Education and Training Victoria, behavior refers to the way in which one acts or conducts oneself, especially towards others. Negative behaviors include behaviors of concern as well as challenging behaviors. In the classroom, typically this involves disruptive behavior that impacts the learning of students, as well as educators' abilities to teach. Unfortunately, disruptive behaviors increased as a result of the pandemic.
Key findings on students' mental health. Many research articles highlighted a concerning decline in students' mental health following the disruptions caused by the pandemic. Reports consistently indicated increased levels of anxiety, depression, and fatigue among K-12 students compared to pre-pandemic levels. These findings emphasize the toll of prolonged social isolation, exposure to COVID-19 related stressors, and the challenges on students' psychological well-being. The chart displayed from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on Children's Mental Health shows an increase of the percentage of high school students who have experienced a variety of mental health concerns. Key findings on students' behavior. Surveys, reports, and educator feedback confirms a significant rise in disruptive behaviors within classrooms. Educators encountered challenges associated with managing increased disruptive behaviors, obstructing the students' ability to engage effectively in academics. A recent peer-reviewed article titled "Students' Behavior Remains Concerning Amid COVID's Impact, Educators Say," explains the relationship between these behavioral challenges and the ongoing impacts of COVID-19, looking at the complexities educators deal with while trying to create stable learning environments. This chart from the article titled "Students' Behavior Isn't Getting Any Better, Surveys Show" from Education Week shows what educators believe on how students have been misbehaving compared to the fall of 2019. Evaluating potential solutions. When researching potential solutions, we used the standards of relevance, cost, time and efficiency, and research-supported effectiveness to evaluate each solution. With disrupted education due to the COVID-19 pandemic being a newer issue that schools are faced with, finding relevant solutions to the problem is very important. Some solutions can also be expensive, and the public education system can have limited funds, so finding a solution that is also cost-effective is crucial. Finding a solution that school districts will be able to implement into their busy schedules easily was also a big factor in our research. For the proposed solution to work, we also needed to be supported by research. We used peer-reviewed articles as well as our community expert interview, Mrs. Darcy Parrish, who shared her experiences for our research. Each solution discussed in the next slides will go into depth on these standards.
One possible solution would be the return to online learning. There's evidence that suggests that kids with anxiety or special needs or who are easily distracted by the noise of the classroom, they showed major improvement in their academics and their engagement with teachers when they were doing online learning. The issues with online learning are that children miss out on that time with their peers, and they have a more difficult time learning social skills because they're not with the other children. Another potential solution is professional development and training for the teachers. It's beneficial for children and teachers, and it provides valuable information. The cons of professional training are that it's expensive for districts, with an average of $600 to up to $2,000 per teacher for these trainings. Another con is that individual teachers can take away different things, different ideas from those trainings, and then they're not always used in the classroom. Another potential solution would be community teamwork. As Ms. Parrish states in her interview, building relationships with the children in your care and their families is extremely important. It's important to keep open communication and know what's going on in those children's lives. The issues with this solution are that parents don't always agree with what the teachers recommend. They have different ideas for what their child needs, and some families are just not willing to communicate and work with the teachers. Our last potential solution is implementing social emotional learning into the curriculum. Results of studies have found that social emotional learning programs result in significant behavioral improvements over time, and they're extremely effective in improving self-regulatory skills in children. And in schools that have implemented SEL programs, the children report to feel more comfortable approaching their teachers and asking for help. The only con that I found in my research was that the initial subscription cost can vary between curriculums, and it can vary wildly from very affordable to very expensive. Our final recommendation is a social emotional learning curriculum called Second Step. It is a research-based program and has been proven effective with children. Children who have participated in the program have increased skills in emotion management, social emotional competencies, and they have decreased emotional problems. It includes weekly lesson plans with teacher trainings incorporated directly into the curriculum. It's also eligible for federal funding, and you can apply for grants to help pay for the initial subscription cost. It can be a bit expensive, but like I said, it's federal funding eligible. Implementation is pretty quick. It involves 60 to 90 minute online trainings for educators, and they're incorporated directly into the curriculum, so it is very easy to get started.
In conclusion, it is clear that the events associated with the COVID-19 pandemic continue to impact public school students' mental health and behavior in the U.S. In order to provide these students with the skills and tools necessary to reach their full potential for success, action must be taken. After analyzing a multitude of research, as well as conducting an interview with a community expert, we have determined that the best solution to this issue is to implement a social-emotional learning program like Second Step. K-12 students were uniquely impacted by the pandemic, and because of this, unique steps must be taken to provide them with the high-quality education they deserve. Thank you for your time.